Good evening and welcome to our March virtual READality, Ladies, Liberty, and Leprechauns. We have a special shout out to some of our middle school teachers for helping us out with the YouTube chat box. Ms. Martha Cherry from Red Oak Middle, Dana Williamson from Southern Nash Middle School, and Holly Pate from Edwards Middle School. Now, Ms. Thomas is going to share some interesting information out about our exit tickets.
Hey everyone, glad you could join us here again tonight. Remember, at the end of our session, we need you to complete the exit ticket. Why is the exit ticket important? Well, one, it helps to give us feedback so that we can know.
March virtual READality, Ladies, Liberty, and Leprechauns. We have a special shout out.
So that we can know what is going on and what we can do to better help you and what ideas you would like. Also, we will have a drawing for one winner of a gift card for those of you that complete the exit ticket. After you submit the exit ticket, you will get a form sent to you that you click on the link, and that will provide you with some games. Each of these sections in this slide right here, once you click on them, they will take you to different games, activities, reading assignments, lots of fun, interesting things. So much to choose from. If you look at the banner up top, the flower on the right-hand side, the basketball, the shoes, so much. So please complete this exit ticket so that we can get information to better help you. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Now we're going to have some fun, some 1-minute brain teasers. Now I'm going to read aloud a brain teaser, and I want you to put what you think the answer is in the chat box. And Mr. Plyler, please let me know if any answers are put in the chat box, and then I'm going to reveal the answers. I am taken from a mine and shut up in a wooden case from which I am never released. And yet I am used by almost everybody. What am I? Anybody have any ideas? Mr. Plyler, do we have anybody offering any suggestions, any ideas?
Nothing yet.
Okay. All right, I'm going to reveal this answer.
Hang on a minute. Let's see. Somebody says gold.
The answer is pencil lead. Taken from a mine, shut up in a wooden case from which I'm never released, and yet I'm used by almost everybody. All right, brain teaser number 2. A man stands on one side of a river, his dog on the other. The man calls his dog, who immediately crosses the river without getting wet and without using a bridge or a boat. How did the dog do it? Remember, the dog didn't get wet. Mr. Plyler, is anybody putting anything in the chat?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm going to reveal this answer. This one was a little harder. I had a hard time with this one. The river is frozen. so he didn't get wet. All right. Last brain teaser. What has cities but no houses? Forests but no trees. And water but no fish. What has cities but no houses? Forests but no trees. And water but no fish.
Somebody says a map.
Good guess. A map is correct. Good job. All right, now in honor of Women's History Month, we want to share a graphic story about the Justice Bell. Now, you may be thinking Liberty Bell, but this is a different bell. This bell came after the Liberty Bell. And let's find out how it is related to women's suffrage and how they persisted until they got what they wanted.
Ringing the Justice Bell, a true story. By Tara Vidian, with art by Ellen T. Crenshaw. Women won the right to vote 100 years ago, thanks in part to the Justice Bell. In 1915, Catherine Wentworth Ruschenberger had the Justice Bell made. It was like the Liberty Bell, but without the crack.
Welcome to Philadelphia.
The Liberty Bell had been on tours across America. Big crowds came to see it. Mrs. Ruschenberger also wanted big crowds to hear about her cause. Her cause was women's suffrage, women's right to vote. In most states, only men could vote. She chained the clapper inside the bell so no one could ring it until the struggle was won. That year, the men of Pennsylvania were going to vote on women's suffrage. The Justice Bell toured the state. Crowds came, but in November, the men voted no. The Justice Bell became part of a nationwide push for women's suffrage, an amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Still, plenty of men and women thought women's suffrage would be a dangerous experiment.
Women shouldn't be dragged into the dirty pool of politics,
said Representative Thomas Girling of Minnesota. The U.S. Congress approved the amendment in 1919, but 36 states had to approve it. By August 1920, it needed one more state. In Tennessee, State Representative Harry Byrne read a letter from his mother. Dear Harry, hurrah and vote for suffrage, and don't keep them in doubt. In the Tennessee House of Representatives, Byrne's yes broke a tied vote. The 19th Amendment was ratified. The celebrations began. At Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the Justice Bell's clapper was unchained. Mrs. Ruschenberger's teenage niece, Catherine Wentworth, rang the bell. Even after this victory, women and men of color still could not vote in some states. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 outlawed this discrimination. The Justice Bell is at the Washington Memorial Chapel at Valley Forge National Historical Park in Pennsylvania. It will ring again on August 26, 2020 for the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. Amendment 19. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Ringing the Justice Bell, a true story.
So as we see in this video, if it were not had been for Catherine Wentworth Ruschenberger pushing and moving forward and making sure that women's voices in politics and that we had the right to vote, where would we be today? Will we even see women on the U.S. Senate, in the House of Representatives? Will we even have Kamala Harris, the 49th Vice President of the United States? Would we have women in the past that could run, such as Hillary Clinton, Shirley Chisholm, other women who are in Congress that are making a difference in different states, no matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans? We have women that are making a stand for us. So thank you, Catherine, for ringing that bell. Thank you so much. So now that we can be a voice and we can still be heard.
Today, we wanted to share a book with you. We wanted to share She Persisted in honor of Women's History Month. To persist in this book means to keep doing what you believe in, even if it's difficult or people tell you you can't. This book highlights 13 truly remarkable women who persisted. This time, though, instead of reading the book to you, we thought it might be fun to showcase a few of these amazing women, starting with
Sally Ride. Sally Ride was the first American woman to fly in space. Now, have any of you ever wanted to do that? Well, Sally Ride persisted. She did everything she needed to do to get all of the qualifications and certifications that she needed to be able to fly in outer space. She was also an author for children's books explaining about space exploration. And one of the coolest things that she did is she started the NASA's EarthCam project, which lets middle school students take pictures of Earth, not just any pictures of Earth using a camera that is on the International Space Station. Now, in the top right corner of this slide, there is a picture of the International Space Station. And it shows you that there is a camera on there that is, you're able to take a picture of Earth. Not to mention that, or just that, when you fill out the exit ticket, you can explore this even further by clicking on the camera, by clicking on the game slide that will take you to the EarthCam project. And then you can sign up and take your own pictures of Earth from the International Space Station. Don't forget though, you've got to fill out that exit ticket to get that game slide.
This is Helen Keller. Helen Keller was born on June 27, 1880. She became blind and deaf as a toddler. She could not learn or communicate the same as everyone else. She learned to use sign language. Her hands became her ears and her eyes. She was the first person with deaf blindness to graduate from college. Helen Keller used her story to fight for more opportunities for people with disabilities in the United States and around the world.
Maria TallChief. Maria TallChief was known as America's first major prima donna ballerina. She was often teased as a teenager for her Native American heritage. Also, it was suggested to TallChief to change her last name if she wanted to become a ballerina. People felt like her heritage would be held against her. TallChief remained with her name and proud of who she was. In 1996, she was awarded the Kennedy Center of Honors for her lifetime contributions. Maria TallChief is considered by many to be one of the greatest dancers in the world. She persisted.
Miss Ruby Bridges, one of my favorites. Ruby Bridges was born on September the 8th, 1954 in Tylertown, Mississippi. She relocated to New Orleans, Louisiana in 1960. She was one of the first African-American children to desegregate the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in 1960 at 6 years old. Ruby was one of the 6 Black children that passed a test deciding whether or not through the NAACP if she could attend the white school. During that time, Brown versus Board of Education was the deciding factor that decided whether Black and whites could integrate together. She definitely had to persist. She had to be brave and bold to attend a school where she blatantly was not wanted. Ruby Bridges has movies out now, books, and a lot of great information if you would like to know some more about her.
Virginia Apgar. Virginia Apgar was inspired by her father's scientific hobbies, her eldest brother's early death from tuberculosis, and by another brother's chronic childhood illnesses to become a surgeon. However, she was so brilliant, the head of the college, was a man, suggested she become an anesthesiologist. An anesthesiologist is someone who puts you to sleep so you can sleep through a surgery. They have to be very, very careful because they don't want to put you to sleep forever. So they have to be very good at what they do. She was an anesthesiologist before this was seen as a specialized field, and at a time when women weren't even seen as doctor material. She persisted. She created the Apgar test to assess the health of newborns. This is still used around the world by every country, using her own name as the acronym for checking the health of newborns. Apgar. A, appearance. Do they look healthy? Is their skin a healthy color? P, pulse. What's their heart rate? G is grimace. Is the baby making facial expressions or crying? A, activity. Is the baby moving around? And R stands for respiration. How well is the baby breathing? The doctors and nurses probably used this test on you when you were born. Our focus today is going to be the author, J.K. Rowling. This is a woman who really persisted. J.K. Rowling wrote the book series Harry Potter. I'm pretty sure we've all heard of that. But there are a few things you might not know about Rowling. She wrote her first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, here we call it the Sorcerer's Stone, while she was a single mother living in low-income housing on what we consider food stamps. She sent her Harry Potter manuscript to 12 different publishers. Every single one of those publishers sent her a letter back saying, not interested. This book will not go anywhere. But she persisted, and with publisher number 13, well, the rest is history. J.K. Rowling became the first author, male or female, to become a billionaire from just writing because she persisted. Now, let's take a look at how she wrote those amazing books.
It was 5 years from the train journey where I had the original idea to finishing the book. And during those 5 years, this mass of material was generated, some of which will never find its way into the book, will never need to be in the books. It's just stuff I need to know for my own pleasure, partly for my own pleasure and partly because I like reading a book where I have the sense that the author knows everything. They might not be telling me everything, but you have that confidence that the author really knows everything. Okay, so this is, to the untrained eye, might look like a pile of waste paper, but this is 10 years' work. As you can see, I file meticulously, and I know where every single piece of paper is. I've dragged out a few bits and pieces. So this is the name of everyone in Harry's year, and all these little symbols mean what house they're in, how magical they are, what their parentage is, because I needed this later for the Death Eaters and so on, and the various allegiances that would be set up within the school. I like this. This was 98, and this was me trying to find words for the Dementors. So I have all these Latin words written all over the inside of my diary. I used to cover just about anything with writing, as you can see. This is my application for housing benefit in 28 Gardens Crescent, which is where the first place I lived, obviously, when I was in Edinburgh. Treated with a complete lack of respect by me. Discarded first chapters of book 1. I reckon I must have got through 15 different alternative chapters of book 1. The reasons for which I discarded each of them were they all gave too much away. And in fact, if you put all those discarded first chapters together, almost the whole plot is explained. This is an old notebook in which I worked out, and again, I don't want you to come too close on this. That is the history of the Death Eaters. Where's my Portuguese diary? There it is. So this is a Portuguese diary, as you can see, not filled in, because I've never filled in a diary in my life. But it had paper in it to write on, so we have another draft of chapter 1. I drew a lot of pictures. I drew them for no one but me. I just wanted to know what characters look like. So anyway, that was Argus Filch. No prizes. Snape, obviously. That is Harry arriving in Privet Drive with Professor McGonagall and Hagrid and Dumbledore. That was a Gringotts cart. Mirror of Erised. That's the Weasleys. Professor Sprout. I like this one. I thought I'd lost this picture, actually, because I was going to show it to Chris Columbus. And true to form, I only found it when it was no use, and they'd already filmed that bit anyway. But this is how the entrance to Diagon Alley works in my imagination. So Chris is going to murder me when he finds out I had to deliver it all along, and he was asking me how it worked. But it was buried in books. And that's in effect what I did. It was a question of condensing and editing and sculpting a book out of this mass of stuff that I had on Harry. And I thought that if it got published, I really thought it's a book for obsessives. It's a book for the kind of people who enjoy every little tiny detail about the world, because I have every little tiny detail about the world.
Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. First-year students will require 1. 3 sets of plain work robes. 2. 1 plain pointed hat, black, for day wear. 3. 1 pair of protective gloves, dragon hide or similar. 4. 1 winter cloak, black, silver fastenings. Set books. The Standard Book of Spells by Miranda Goshawk. The History of Magic by Bathilda Bagshot. Magical Theory by Adalbert Waffley. A Beginner's Guide to Transfiguration by Emmerich Switch. 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi by Philida Spore. Magical Drafts and Potions by Arsenius Jigger. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander. The Dark Forces, A Guide to Self-Protection by Quentin Trimble.
It is so fascinating to me to see J.K. Rowling's real process, how she wrote out every bit, every speck of what she wanted to say, because that's what makes those books to me come alive. You really do see every little detail that she understood. Do any of you write like that? On like a scrap of paper, everything you can find? It really shows her commitment to her writing and how she really persisted. And you can too.
Okay, now we are going to play a fun Kahoot game with Mrs. Buschatz. If you will go to www.kahoot.it, and Mr. Plyler, if you'll put that in the chat as well. We're going to give it a minute or so, give everybody a chance to get there, and let's see what you know, see what you remember.
Hi, the pin is up on there. So all you have to do is put in the number 307-7088. And I will be here waiting for you to play Kahoots.
So Ms. Buschatz?
Yeah.
Mr. Plyler just put it in the chat, the link in the chat. So give it just another minute or so.
Not a problem. We got a little music here. We've got 6 people here. I'm going to give it a few more seconds and then we are going to begin our Kahoots. Okay. Are we ready to begin? Let's start. There will be approximately 10 questions and you are going to have fun. Hope you remember what you learned about persistent and J.K. Rowling and the Justice Bell.
Ms. Buschatz, you may want to give it just a few more seconds.
I can see that there are more people coming on. Mhm.
Okay, I think you can go. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, let's start. Virtual reality. What does the A on the APGAR scale stand for? Apple, anxiety, attention, or appearance? Okay, it looks like we've got a few good correct answers here. Way to go. Okay, the APGAR scale stands for appearance and for the letter A. Okay, next. True, false. Brown versus the Board of Education, segregation in school was ruled unconstitutional in 1954. True or false? Very good, people. Very, very good. Okay, that is true. Okay. Next question. True or false? J.K. Rowling wanted the book to be for people who wanted to know everything about the wizard world. True or false? True. Good job. Next. True or false? Helen Keller was the first person with deaf blindness to graduate from college. True or false? Good job. Definitely true. Next question. The Justice Bell became a symbol for what? Women's suffrage, end of the Civil War, signing of the Declaration of Independence, or Bill of Rights? Good job. Bill of Rights is correct. I mean, women's suffrage is correct. Okay, next question. True or false? The Justice Bell rang again for the 100th anniversary for the women's right to vote on August 26, 2020. True, good job. You got 100% there. Excellent. Okay, next question. True or false? It was suggested that Marie TallChief change her last name if she wanted to be a professional dancer. True or false? Good job, people. How many alternative chapters did J.K. Rowling write before discarding them? Was it 5, 20, 15, or 10? We're thinking of alternative chapters. Yeah, that was a tough one. 15. Good job with everybody. Okay, next question. What happened to Helen Keller when she was a toddler? She fell and broke her leg. She became blind and deaf. She got lost in the woods. She learned to swim. Good job. You guys were paying attention. Okay, I think we're coming up to the last question. What year was the Justice Bell made? 1920, 1880, 1975, 1915. Good job, people. Okay. That is it. Let's see who came in first place. Third place, Friendly Urchin. Second place, Gentle Elephant. And number 1, the Sturdy Ant. Thank you for playing. And
Thank you, Ms. Suschatz.
So talking about persistence, our NCP schools students are incredibly persistent. We asked them to create some leprechaun traps for us this time. And wow, no leprechaun stands a chance with our students. Let's take a look at some of these fabulous traps. I love that. And I love the presentation. You guys are getting so creative in all the different ways that you present these to us. So that one, let's see. That one was by Alicia Sharp. This next one, here we go. In this trap by Ricky Farley, the leprechaun sees the nice green lettuce in the bowl, steps onto the tinfoil to get some, falls through the hole and can't get back out. He's caught. This one by Emma Batchelor. She made a trick box. So when the leprechaun sees the keep out sign, because he's kind of mischievous, he's definitely going to want to take a look, kind of like your little brother or sister. When he steps on the rubber bands on the box and then opens it, the rubber bands shoot him inside the box. And then they actually pull the top down, trapping the little trickster. He is caught. This one was by Aunt Anya Agee and her sister. I love that they use the scent of Irish Spring soap to attract the leprechaun. When he sees the gold on the balloon, he's going to try to grab it. The balloon's going to bounce him off into the basket. They can pull that blanket up around him, and he is trapped. So talking about attracting a leprechaun, this trap by Essence Dowdy knows a thing or two about attracting these leprechauns. I love the lights. Who could resist those lights? And that open invitation of the ladder, hey, come on up. Take a look at this gold. It's wonderful. So when they get to the top, they topple inside and they can't get out of the box and they are trapped. This one is by Myasia Mason. So Myasia's going to lure the leprechaun under the box. And when he goes to pick up the gold, you knock that pole out, the box comes down, and he is trapped. Last, this is Jalen Perry's trap. This one works by tricking the leprechaun with fake gold. And when he walks over the tripwire, it drops the net. And he is trapped. These were fantastic, guys. You are a creative lot.
Now, Ms. Thomas is going to talk a little bit more about the exit ticket. Just a few reminders.
Thanks, guys, for all your time tonight and paying such good attention and listening to the things about these strong women and how they've impacted our world. They persisted. When things were hard, they continued, they persisted. Now, we would like to persist as well with continuing to do these every month, but we need your input on the exit ticket. It's very important for you to tell us, what would you like to see? What do you not enjoy? Give us some ideas. We want to help you. We want to persist. We want to encourage you to participate and persist with us. Please complete the exit ticket, and don't forget, a lucky winner who completes the exit ticket will get a gift card. Also, the games afterwards, all of those interesting, fun activities, each of those icons on the slide will take you to something new, interesting, that you can enjoy. Thank you for being with us tonight, and I hope we'll see you next time.
And while you're filling out that exit ticket, which won't take but about 1 minute, we're going to send you off with some music and dance. And that's all, folks.
Have a great evening.